Hello everyone, welcome to this video Alteryx hands-on practice questions. In this video, we will be scraping the IMD website and downloading the graph and map images. Below are the topics covered. From developer, we will be using download, block until done, dynamic input and blob output. Rest are the similar ones which we have used in the previous videos as well. Our data is available in this web link. So this is how the data looks like. And we are going to extract these two graphs. Okay, so this is the website which is the regional local weather report. We have list for any cities, whatever city we are selecting, the corresponding graph will be displayed. Okay, this is the weekly variation temperature and this is the map. If you right click and check, open the image in a new tab. So for the first one, we see this is a fixed link, and then just we have to alter the name of the city, which will give us the graph. But for the second one, we have a specific number. To get this specific number, you just have to right click and click on view page source. This will redirect you to this page. Here to it, there are two links. You can check both the links. The menu link which we are having here, you see we get all the menus. Here if you see the page source, this will give you for each menu which is being displayed as a city, what is the ID corresponding or what is the link where it is going to. So what will be our steps? For the first one, it is easy. We'll be just the user is passing some value, we'll be appending that value and we'll be getting the first picture. The second one, we'll store this HTML file and then we'll prepare table from it with the name and its corresponding IDs. So when the user is entering any city, we'll pull out the ID, corresponding ID of it, and then we'll append that in the image link so that we get the second image. This is our Alteryx workflow to show how this would work. I'm using it in small letters or the lowercase letters. So this will give us first graph, second graph, and the HTML file. I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the details. First, we'll need the input. So in the input, we are having the image URL of the two. First one is the first image and second is the image whose link whose code we have to download. Block until done will make sure that we sequentially run the processes. For the first image, we'll be using a download tool. The download tool, we have to pass the link where we are passing the image URL. We'll import the URL text and we'll output it as a blob. I would recommend you to view my HTML parsing video, which will give you some background before you start this video. So once it's downloaded as a blob, we have to use the blob output. It takes the file name. So here I have specified city.png because I want the image. Modify the file name. You can choose anything which you want. For this, I'm appending the file field to the file name. In this, we'll have to pass the URL which you're going to use or the field name, and this will automatically take the blob field. So in download data, so whenever we are using the download, the entire data dump gets into a column called as download data, which is a blob here because we have used specified it's a blob. So this will pass to this, and we'll get a first image. For the user input part of this, we are just attaching a text box and we are updating the value Safdarganj. Okay, that this one we are just updating with the user value which is being passed. So we tried here Durg. So it will just replace this word and then present the image to us. The first part is done. The second part also we'll use the download. We'll pass the URL, we get the blob. But the output which we are storing, will store it as a.text because we need the HTML code for this site. Modify the file name. I have kept replacing file name with field. You can use appending as well. The URL which we are going to use is the URL link. And the blob field would be again the download data because that is the where the data is entirely stored. So this is going to create the text file which I showed to you. Now once the file is created, I'm using a directory tool. So I'm going to the directory and selecting for any kind of text file which is there. So this directory has only one text file. It will pick up that text file. Then I'm using the dynamic input, which will read the full path and change the entire path of that. In this, it's important to pass a sample or a template to it. So what I have done, I have just copied the entire code and just placed it into text file in a different folder for it to be given as a template file. And here you see the file format is flat ASCII. You have to select the file format as well. So once this is done, you see the file path was being replaced and finally we are getting all the values which is present in that file. We are able to read that file now using this dynamic input. So all the lines are coming here. If you see, this is the code. This has 1701 lines and all of them has come into a single field now. Next task, I'm using a text to column to just split it based on new line because this we have seen our previous videos as well because each line is separated by a new line. Okay, so we are just putting it into a different line and I'm splitting it into rows. Okay, so we get all the rows now. Now, if we notice the code, our city names are always in the line which starts with href and the city test.php. Okay, this line. So I'm just filtering out only those lines which contains li a href city whether php id equal to. So this will reduce our number of records to 1360. Next, there are three equal to's being used here. So I'm just again splitting this column based on the delimiter into four different columns. This is what the output we are getting. Now we need this number and we need this state. Okay. So for this third one, we just have to, we just have to replace the target here. Okay. So I'm using find and replace tool. We are passing a text input. We are replacing the target with a space. It is find and replace. I'm replacing any part of the field 3 with the replace value with. So now you see there's a space here and the number has been populated. Next task is for this. So you see there is an arrow here. I'm just splitting now the fourth column into two based on that arrow. So now the main frame is separate and we get the columns here. To change this again, you can use one more delimiter into 2 and now finally in 421 you get all the states. 421 and 3 are the fields which we need. So I'm using select to get only those three. Next, the 421 which we have got, which is state, I'm just putting it into lowercase. The reason why, if you see a code, it's a title case, okay? But the first picture was a lowercase. So I'm just turning it into a lowercase because user will be entering only lowercase, okay? Next, I'm just using a filter where the 421 equals Vishakhapatnam. The purpose of this is to change this based on user input. Whenever the user is passing input, I am updating this value and that attached value, means updated value is being passed to this filter. So when you enter Durg here, the value came to this filter and only those value was being displayed. Now, in this, we are forming the link which we want. So if you notice, this is the static part. We have kept it. If concatenating it with the third, which is the number which we need, and we are using a trim because we have given a space here. Because in find and replace, if you don't give anything, it will not be replacing it. You cannot keep it blank. We just have to give at least space there. And then we are concatenating it with the PNG format. Once our link is completed, I'm using the download where I'm passing the link URL, keeping the same as before, and this is a blob. I'm finding the blob output. This is graph.png. Here I'm using replacing the file name with field. This will be our web link. So here it is link, and the blob output is the download data. So this is how I'll get the second image. I hope you like this video. If so, please subscribe to the channel for more such videos, and thank you so much for watching.